Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, let's talk about 3 unconventional market sizing cases. So cases that are different really from what you see on YouTube, for example, for the most time, but that you will encounter with Tier 1 and Tier 2 strategy consultancies. And all of these 3 cases, they are real cases that I was interviewed with. So let's get right started. So first, you should understand that there are markets that are limited by supply rather than by demand. So think about it. In most cases, you just do kind of a top-down or bottom-up sizing of demand. And yes, sometimes in bottom-up market sizing, you limit by kind of a utilization rate or something like that. But when was the last time that in a top-down market sizing case, you really thought about constraining supply so that it reduced the market size? This is an important aspect, and let me give you a specific example here. This was an interview with a Tier 2 strategy consultancy and specifically their consumer goods and retail practice. It was an experienced hire interview, but I don't think it does make that much of a difference if you're interviewing for an entry-level position or not. So the case goes like this. We had a client, a fashion retailer, for which we built a sales prediction model, and that model was built by data scientists, so like experienced guys with PhDs in physics and this kind of stuff. And it turned out that it was even underperforming the basic Excel model that the client had already in place. And your task now is to do a root cause analysis and figure out from a business perspective, and now we're interviewing for a generalist's position here, what could be the reason why this model is not performing well and how could we possibly fix it. So that's the case prompt. And in this video, I'm not going to do a full walkthrough of the case, but really here the point is the solution was in constrained supply. So if you went about this and thought, well, okay, sales, that's kind of market size times market share, you would not be able to solve this case because it was limited by supply, because in fact they had forgotten to incorporate their stock levels in the model. So if your model predicts that you're going to sell 4 blue t-shirts on a Saturday in June, but you only have 3 in stock at that specific store, well, then you're only going to sell 3 at best, but not 4. And that was the point here. So remember, case solving is about structuring and all these kind of things, and not eventually about pinpointing that single root cause that really made a difference in practice. But still, this is an example of a market size kind of thing that was limited by supply. And if you only look at this from a demand perspective, you will not be able to solve this. Okay, so second example, or point rather. Most videos that you see on market sizing deal with familiar products or services, like for example, pizza or something like that. Be prepared for very specific products and services that you have no clue about in a case interview. To give you an example, Exhaustion systems for sport motorboards. There was a case also with a Tier 2 strategy consultancy by, I think, the private equity practice that was given to me. And this is something that you do not necessarily know anything about. Now, just one of the tricks to deal with this, there are more, is to shift your thinking to another industry. So probably you know a lot more stuff about cars than you do know about motorboats and their exhaustion systems. So just make that shift in your brain and think about it from there, and then translate it back to the respective context of the case. And finally, the third example of unconventional market sizing. There are markets that sit really at a specific point in the sales channel. So this is an example from a case interview with a Tier 1 consultancy and their financial services practice. So this was an insurer that had an inbound sales channel really. So there were customers that were actually calling because they were about to complain about something. And it turned out that they wanted to capture that opportunity of customers already being on the phone to try and sell something to them. And the question here, well, the first question, this was a multi-question case obviously, was how large that opportunity is. If there are inbound callers to their call center, how large is that opportunity to make additional sales? And this is an example of kind of a specific market that's specific to the client, specific to that sales channel, even specific to that very rand of existing customers calling in for some other reason, where you can size that opportunity. So be prepared for all these very special kind of market sizing cases. It's really what you will experience in those interviews with Tier 1 and Tier 2 strategy consultancies. So I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.